Hey James, I hope you're having a good trip. I just wanted to quickly go over these two questions from your test. The one was question 10, where there was that bar chart and they'd said to you, you're looking at counters in the bag, they'd shown you the brown, the yellow, the blue, and the red. The brown bar went up to a frequency of 4, the yellow went up to a frequency of 7, and the red went up to a frequency of 5, and there was nothing under the blue. And it said that it shows that when a counter is withdrawn from the bag, and then replaced. Another counter is then drawn and replaced, drawn and replaced. So you're basically taking counters out of the bag and putting them back in. That means that the numbers on the bar chart is not saying how many counters there are, it's saying how many times that counter was drawn in your drawing counters out of the bag. So basically there's absolutely no way from this bar chart we can tell the number of counters. So like for A, where it says there are at least 16 counters in the bag, I don't know, there could be 16. And if I look at the adding up, that's 4, and this is where the trap they wanted to try and catch you in. 4 plus 7 plus 5. Well, 5 and 4 is 9 and 7 is 16. So if I totaled up those, then yes, I do get a total of 16. But that means that basically I put my hand in the bag and drew counters out 16 times. That's all it is. So I have no idea how many counters there are. There could be more, there could be less. There could only be like 3 brown counters, 3 yellow counters, 3 red counters, but that's just every time I put my hand in and draw and put one back, I could keep going until I've drawn 100 times. So it doesn't tell me how many counters there are. So you were right not to choose A. B said there are no blue counters. Well, it looks like it because no blue was drawn out of that bag at all. But there might be blue counters in the bag. I just didn't pick one. It's possible that I just didn't draw one. So I can't say for sure there are no blue counters just because I didn't pick a blue counter when I was drawing counters. I might have just missed all the blue counters, might have been in the bottom of the bag. And so I might have just missed the blue counters. Then it says there are 5 red counters. No, I drew red 5 times. There could be only 1 red counter, and I picked it 5 times by luck. Or there could be 100 red counters, and I just drew out 5. So there's no way of knowing that. But what I can say is I can say that there are at least 3 colors in the bag because I drew 3 different colors. There could be blue, there might not be blue, I don't know. But I definitely know for a fact there must be at least 3 colors because I've drawn 3 different colors in the bag. So the only correct answer here would be D. That's the only one there. And then the other question I wanted to just have a quick look at, and then that's all we really need to cover, is this question 11 with the tallies. So you had a tally where they asked the relative frequency of the most frequent outcome. Well, the most frequent outcome, I'm just going to quickly zoom in a little bit so it's easier to read. The most frequent outcome obviously was your 1 head and 1 tail, because if I look there, that's 5, 10, 13. That frequency came up 13 times. So 13 times when I was flipping the 2 coins, I got 1 head and 1 tail. 2 heads came up 7 times, and 2 tails came up 5 times. So out of the total frequency of flips, I got 13. So what I do to get the relative frequency as a percentage is I take my 13 and I put it over the total number of outcomes that there were, which is 7 plus 13 is 20, plus 5 is 25. So I put that as 13 over 25 times 100, because that'll put it into a percentage, or I can make it as 100 over 1. Then what I do is I always, when I'm multiplying fractions, I always follow the rule of simplify before you multiply. So I can divide this denominator by 25, and that'll cancel the 25 out and leave me with 1. And I can divide this numerator also by 25. As long as you've got a common factor that goes into any one of the denominators or numerators, providing it's a multiplication sum, you can't do this on an addition or subtraction, then you can cancel across from one denominator to one numerator. So I cancel out the 25s, and I'm left with a nice 13 times 4 over 1, which is just going to be 13 times 4. And 13 times 4, well, 3 times 4 is 12, carry a 1, and 4 times 1 is 4, and your 1 is 5. So I get a total of 52%. So 52% of the outcomes that I got, 52% were 1 head and 1 tail. I hope that makes sense. And then the other thing is you would have absolutely slaughtered this test because you got all of the, well, almost all the questions right. It was just those two that you got wrong. The only thing is I want to get you into the habit of showing your working out where there's more than 1 mark required. So always look at the bottom of the question, and you'll see, if I go back to, where was that? If you look at, so I'm just going to go and zoom this here in. You'll see, like, if you look at question 11, it was worth 3 marks. So if there's more than 1 mark, there has to be some working out shown. So the working out will be like what I've just done. Where did that go? My whiteboard just disappeared. I don't know why. But you saw that I did all the working out. There we go. You need to show the working out, and for some reason my computer's just destroyed all my working out. Nasty computer. So we had our working out over there, showing that you know that it has to be the 13 over 25. So you would get 1 mark just for that, just for the 13 over 25. For the multiplying it by 100 to get your final answer, and then your final answer of 52%. That would be your 3 marks over there. So be aware, because I'm going to mark your tests in this way so that we develop a habit of showing the working. So that when you write your final exam, your external exams, you are so in the habit of showing your working out that I know that we have done what we call protected your marks, so that you get all the marks that you deserve. Good. Enjoy your trip, and we will see you then at your next lesson.